Brief is a measurable statement. Why do we say measurable statement? It quantifies the knowledge. Knowledge, learning outcome when omutegeera nti omuntu. And this one is not part of this. They understand the skills, both generic and what? You can easily tell the generic skill in this learning outcome is this one after you have learned how to analyze it. Values expected to be what? So if the notes are not prepared following this, then learners are in problems. Total what? Problems. Now that statement you see has got 4 components, and each component will help us to understand the learning outcome. The first component is the person being addressed. The syllabus is clear. The learner should be able to, not the teacher, but the learner should be able to configure. Who configures now in class?
Now the teacher configures. So the learners.
Ojjewo omwana weetaddewo. Yet assessment is going to assess that. Can the learner configure? Go and be configured. Can learner troubleshoot? Go and be troubleshooting. So person being addressed in the learning outcome is the learner, not you, the teacher. So whatever we are going to see in this statement is for the learner. Can the learner demonstrate this? Not to you. When you say it is very obvious to you, not to the learner. Okay? Number 2, which is the most important area in this learning outcome, is the action verb. What a learner is expected to do in that learning outcome is put in the action verb. Okay? We have so many action verbs. Every learning outcome, you find one action verb, which is one, and it shows what a learner is supposed to do. Omwana akola ki here? For example, here, what is the action verb? Create. Action verb is kati yogenda somesa mwana to create. Nothing else. We won't notice it as programming, but for us we want a learner to create. At one notices we'll make a learner to create woman. Create. Then we shall assess the learner on creation. Creating what? Visual objects. But many of us, we give them notes. They cram, perhaps they cram. Does it mean they can create? So everyone needs this. Many teachers, syllabus here. I completed the syllabus. Really? Okay? I challenge ICT teachers in this country. We really don't teach according to the syllabus. Yes, we are going to see that. So, action verb. It determines the level of demand. Level of demand means now the scope. How far you must go. And you have 3 levels the learner must go through to achieve something. Some areas, they stop at lower level. A learner is supposed to know. Knowing is 0. Okay? Another one can be a learner is supposed to use or apply. It is beyond low. It is medium. A learner is supposed to examine. You get it? Now, those action verbs. How far a learner must go to stretch a learner up to that level? You don't begin from the highest point of it. You start from where? For example, a learner is supposed to create. You start from creating? No. Knowing, remembering, applying, to create something. So in class, we start from lowest up to where that level is. If the action verb puts the learning outcome at medium level, It means you start from lowest but don't go beyond medium. If it is in the highest, start from lowest, medium, then what? If it is a low level, stop there. It is on knowledge and memory. You get it? Action what? But with learning outcome, it is the duty of the teacher to determine this one is a low level, this one is a medium level, this one is a high what? Such that even if time has called me, and when I find a document indicating levels of demand for various learning outcomes, I will know what to do with learners. Because it gives you the scope. You get it? Now, after determining the scope, it also helps you to determine which activities to give. If a learning outcome, its action verb talks about using, will you give an activity which is about defining, stating? Is it? No. So it determines also which activity to give to the learners to reflect the action verb, what a learner is expected to do in that learning outcome. Let us understand that because assessor kyasooka okukola muno omwana yasoma biki byalina okukoleramu oba biteeka together, they came up with scenarios. These scenarios are not easy because they reflect what is in every learning outcome. Then next part is the content. Learning outcome is new content. Create what? Visual objects. So visual object is the content learner must learn, but learning it at the level of creating it. So this is the learning outcome. Create visual objects. Create is the action verb. Visual object is the content. So just creating basini bana. Notices are basini. Then in their notes, the content will be on visual objects. You get it? Those who are type C, categories, content is there. And lastly, the context. Context is the environment in which content must be acquired. Context. Visual objects in which environment? Visual objects to present what? To present that. So action, verb, content, context. The person being addressed, those four make up what we call a learning outcome. Once you're a teacher and you cannot do that whichever subject, you will be wasting learners' time. Okay? Hope you have got that. Eh? Now, levels of demand are 3, they are there. If a learning outcome is about making a learner to know or to and remember, it is the lowest. I will not say because it is knowledge, give them, they can read and you get it. But if it goes beyond the lowest, they medium. You expect a learner either to apply or to do something there. Medium is on application, is on uses. Okay? Lastly, highest. Highest actually is on evaluation. Maybe let me make this one clear. Evaluation, evaluation, and creation. Very clear. So when you find a learning outcome, talks about creating. Don't you start dictating a lot. So you get it? I think I've learned that I listen that. The learning outcome finished. Co-creation. So bad. Creation, a learner must go through all the 3 levels. starting with getting knowledge, using the knowledge, analyzing the knowledge acquired, coming up with something new. So you can do that in one lesson. Do you have that time? No. That's why when students start last year senior 4, a lot was expected from these people, but they couldn't match with the levels. And many teachers started abusing those who went for marking, what? Negative was you are just giving them notes to run. Which notes? Notes are in the mostly at lowest level. Again, that is the Bloom's taxonomy. You can do some research. It gives you action verbs of different levels. We have those ability levels in Bloom's taxonomy. The first 2 levels represent the lowest. The next 2 levels, medium. The last 2 levels, highest levels, what? Demand. Katolabo omwana otuuka ku level ya design omutandikiza ku wansi n'omugente you go to understanding, you go to application, you go to analysis, you go to EV, then creation. And let me tell you, most of our learning outcomes in A level are at level 5 or 6. Ntono eziri mu makati. We don't have any ziri words. Sweet. Hey. Hi. Now in class, we have stretched our learners up to the lowest. But exams are going to stretch them up to the highest. Banaita. No. I'm telling you, students did the pretest, they failed. Remember, no. And I think he shared with Brad. Students failed because the way we teach them. Take a point, no, it's not about the point. It's about the skills. Learners must know that. Now, members, we have that learning outcome. Let me ask you questions now. What is the action verb? Action verb? Install. Content? OS and
software application.
Context? Level of demand? Level of demand? Level of demand? It is medium. Yes, it is medium, but in the context, the environment in which this is supposed to be done puts it at highest. Installing for optimal, we know determining optimal performance, we will be defining which software, how must I configure it. You get it? Making it what? Highest. Meaning you not just teach them to install. What to install, for what, on which, whatever. Okay? Now, it is time to prepare for the lesson. All lesson is for that learning outcome. Can you outline the knowledge and understanding learners must acquire in this learning outcome? Before we go to subject skills, which knowledge do you think learners must acquire in this learning outcome? And with that knowledge, it will help them when it comes to the skill of installing, they can install. Which knowledge and understanding?
The installation process of the
Uh-huh. The what?
installation process of the operating system.
Installation process.
Yes.
Learners must get the step by step. Mm-hmm. Knowing various what? And types. Uh-huh. Which other? Ebyo bimala. Hey, you are the teachers. Yes?
So the language builds up the knowledge of the software applications for the various types.
What exactly, which knowledge exactly are you talking about?
How
Types. When you say how is now a skill? Catholic knowledge and understanding to start with. So you say types of what?
software.
Uh-huh.
Then I should know the
ate bw'omala omu-brainstorminga, arrange it. It is KU, but where to start from? In this one, learners, I'll begin with the meaning of OS, meaning of application software. In that logical flow, then you focus on, maybe you go to categories. Categories, OS, application. Each category, there are examples. You get it? In every category, there are functions. Function of OS, functions of application software. Learning what? Knowledge and understanding. Then you go to, because it is about installation, then you must also have knowledge and understanding of the kind of machine, specifications. Not so. Specifications for various whatever. Is that all? The what? Kati you skill tetunatuuka tukyaliko knowledge and what? Hey. So if we believe that is because we quantify knowledge and understanding until yamala, then we can now go to skills. Okay? Kati skills are, you have talked about
making a bootable device.
creating a bootable disk. Meaning you are creating a bootable storage, disk for installation. It's a skill. Subject what? Goandika. That topic they covered it in senior 5. I will ask you at the end of the day, did you teach those skills? Another skill? When assembling, you think well.
It's not there.
Oba togenze walala. Assembly may not be here. Learning outcome is clear. Learner should be able to install. In the process of installing, there are skills that are needed in that process.
Partitioning.
Doing what?
Partitioning.
Partitioning is under which skill? Preparing a disk for installation. But partitioning can be even done when the actual installation is taking place. Not either you partition the disk in the process, so it may not even be an independent skill. Is that all? Knowing is not a skill. Obanga olaka knowing ka knowledge wakairabidde, you add it to knowledge. You get it? But here we are outlining skills. Subject what? To Tansena, preparation, disk for installation, making a bootable. izo skills zigata software
Then the configuration.
configuration, that is the optimizing
Optimizing.
software. Is it a skill?
It is.
Uh-huh. That is number 3. What else? Ng'olinayo the learning outcome tokyuka. Katiyo is under installation, because under installation you have those activities you perform. You know, a skill is a bigger thing. To demonstrate a skill, there are activities you perform. So you can bring that one as one of the activities under that skill. You get it? Yeah. But you haven't talked about installing software, OS, and also application. Not so. You talked about optimizing it or configuring it. Can you configure what you have not installed? Meaning, you have to teach them how to install OS, how to install application. Not if. Chekwagala. You must. If you have not, it means you have not told the learning outcome. Chechiri masomero. You get it? Mugambi is installing software, making bootable C. Where do you get the software? So software acquisition is a skill. They can either download or they can purchase from software vendor. Even downloading, they can purchase on Babikola. But when I hear a teacher, say, right here, one lesson. Can you do all that in one lesson? That's so boring. Hey, my dear, there is a lot. That's why you work as a team. The technician has a role to play here. Because there are some things the teacher cannot help learners to acquire. And the technician is your work to support these learners to acquire them. Can tell you that area is in item 1, section A, theory paper. Mwana atubatayiza kuinstalling software of either OS or application. A scenario is going to come when it's supposed to upgrade a system. In upgrading, you assemble, you install. Ibintu ebyo bye bakuwadde bo bibaagala. Yes.
That's learning
Installing and uninstalling, they go hand in hand. Because if I'm going to upgrade, I assemble, but I first of all deassemble, then I assemble. I uninstall, then I install. Then I move exam, because for us we lack competencies. What works? When you skip something, it means you have not provided a solution. And that is how we must analyze the curriculum. Then we simply go to class with all the books. Which book will you find if you forget the way we have mentioned them here in an organized way like that? Tell me which book. Now, you will not find it. But we force learners to buy textbooks, which are outside their scope. So teachers, when we hear learners crying, they will cry certainly. Because when they are installing, you can choose either to format the drive or to partition, format and partition, or just to upgrade. Every number you can have when do we format? When do we upgrade? Nizo kupanga environment musinanga ndiyesi the computer the secretary discovered that a computer was freezing all the time, something like that. Now suspecting that maybe there is a virus. And when she powered on her computer the following day, it displayed screen of death. Tifenga tugamba omwana yamba secretary mugaidi. Kati the step by step mulina okubaamu akaformatting this. Why there is a virus? When I look in that situation, to get rid of this virus, you have to do a fresh installation whereby you have to even format the drive. Wagala not teaching ICT on the surface. Okay? So I brought that because that is where our biggest problem is. In all subjects, ICT, abasomesa abalimba abaana aba biophysics, they are teaching them. Never let us syllabus tutuule. Let us extract what you are going to teach in class. Outline the knowledge and understanding. Outline the skills. Because the skills, you must prepare activities to facilitate the acquisition of those skills. Because if you are going to install, there are even things you set up. No machines, software, but no people you are going to install. But where do you think we can get the software from? We can get it from online by downloading. Can we learn how to download? We start downloading. Now the software is there. This one is for OS. And if we are to use it, we must prepare a bootable disk. Can we go through this? So when I come to check learners' work, I discover that learners have shallow information, few skills. We actually don't teach according to. So that is how we tease out what we teach. But we are competency-based teaching. For me to learn a skill, that skill must have knowledge. Leave alone these people who say, in the new curriculum, to are notes, or sketch notes. Who told you? According to Bloom, the biggest part is where? Down. For you to be able to demonstrate a skill professionally, you look better than you are well informed. Now, information. Of course, a projector, that's what I'm a projector. What is a projector? Types of projectors. Which projector can be used where? Okay? Then no man can cut now, I can use it. That's why the base is very important. This works chikuru. But don't stop there. Stretch learners further up to the highest level. According to the action club. Yes. So according to this one, Yagamba, knowledge and understanding, meaning of OS and application. Types of operating system and application. Software installation. Those are the 3 steps while you get it. You get it? Then skills. Talked about preparing storage for software installation. Installing various what? Software, system and what?
Application.
Then software optimization, which you talked about. Like a configure MD, you have installed OS. Configure firewall for security. Configure utility. There are also generic skills which are key in the process of acquiring these skills. During installation, which key generic skill must a learner develop? The skill of critical thinking and problem of we install software to solve problems, but we don't just install software. We first think which software and how that, which specification. You get it? So the key generic skill is report. Your communication may not be there. It can be there, but it's not key in this learning what? You get it? Now, when it comes to values and attitude, you see, politically install of law. That's why we have ended up having students who just bring games what are installed. They don't respect for the environment. You get it? Or humanity. Do you think that software you are installing is good for the rest? We must question them. If you are installing on public computers, which software? You ask them, what kind of software do you think can be best for that? What about personal computer? They can talk about games because it is personal. They install according to their what? Choices, values, or yamba, such that when they come out, you will not struggle with them to find software, games, things that buy that, see what, because they don't know. So we also focus on care for the environment, respect for what? People not down in your lesson is over lesson, you are going to talk about it or to help learners do something about it. You learn out and go to the coming up with now the activities. Get it? Activities for knowledge acquisition, activities for practical skills demonstration. Did you cover that learning outcome with the CF5 members? And where they are? Similar when we topic, learning outcome. Did you teach them according to the way you have extracted?
No.
You are going there, I like that. You get it? So what does that mean? You cannot do this alone. But you first sit as a team, you agree. Actually, me, I always tell schools, come up with a document which is going to now analyze the learning outcomes, all of them. Come up with those areas. Okay? Put them in that document. Because the assessor that document is called competency framework. Let me show you this. Maybe mulino kubanayo. Competency framework. Every subject must have this kind of document. Here you put topic competency here. You get it? Then here you put learning outcomes. The first learning outcome. Then you extract knowledge and understanding of that learning outcome. All of it. I don't know if you have access to this document, but you know, whether I'm in school or outside, what? Then go to skills, subject and what? And generic. You're not be outlining it. Put the document there. Then go to values and what? And attitude. You also extract, outline. This can be good for your checklist. You get it? No matter skills, you task someone in charge. Troubleshooting to another on various commonized issues. Installation not yet. Assembly not yet. Relative money. Configuring software not yet. So once you have that document, then you go to what you call performance indicators. These performance indicators are for assessment now. Ability, because you say here, meaning of software. OS and application. What will be the performance indicator for that? Learner's ability to explain the meaning of OS and application is a performance indicator. Katabuzenga noonya scenario egenda okumwasesera whether that learner can explain or can use. Then level of demand, we have seen that action verb. You say this one, the way we see things, elimulo. Things your knowledge and what? When you put a tick in the medium, it means learners have to apply or to use. The knowledge from that learning what? When one more highest, it means there is decision making. They go beyond just applying or using to making decision. What do I use? Here, what do I use? If I have a computer of this specification, which software must go there? Whereas this one, which one? You want to hard. Okay? Then already you know the construct. You can put construct is for the topic. You say this topic one belongs to this construct. So it comes to end of exams, which moment now this and this, because they come from the same construct, we shall assess them in one item. So how I wish you get that document. Yes. You you get it. Or someone technical in ICT. Because if you give this document to a taxi driver, but we know you can populate it. So if you come up with this, it means even if you teach senior one of another campus or senior one of they will all have the same content. Kitegeeza siganje hamba so nsaberi sibalungi nnyo lwaki ekiraga sibalungi seeza bye basomesa siriki tebabitegeeza. But let us sit. Usually this document is supposed to be developed during those breaks or holiday and so on. But now you are in the middle of the class, yet you need it. And so now let us begin with a topic. Okay? We analyze it, we outline it. You must teach. Together. Leave textbooks on the market. Focus on the what? The syllabus. Because the assessor assesses the syllabus, not textbooks on the market. I know some of you are publishers. You must go back. Hey, it is competency framework. ICT competency framework for A level. Can have for O level because it is the same. I can give you this template. It is blank. Then you populate it. Okay? Kusiva haiva one. Kusiva KUSV. Yebibuli bantu bakambyosolesa. Naye ndo tubyogera kusiva bitubulire oteeka awo.
Kusiva iki?
Oba biology, oba physics, kusiva ibya tell us no, we shall meet tomorrow. So it is a serious problem. Serious problem. We interpret the curriculum differently as teachers. In fact, let us get one topic. You will come back here and find people who have different things. You get it? So which means you must sit and agree with this. Bintu bya kukkaanya I think that one. Bakimala kiri eri mu topic learning outcome. It's not supposed to be here. Look at the learning outcome. It talks about this. You agree or disagree, then you put that in. So it is called a framework to guide you in teaching. We also use it in assessment.
Now, suppose we go all those topics and they are supposed to be here. Now, your business is done. You have and then you have software. Suppose I go one from maybe it's supposed to be coaching like come again, will I do any sorry, I bring one process. Will I do any mistake?
Let me ask you, do you have any theory topic in any? What topics you do the hardware? Hardware is practical.
Communication.
Because how is it practical? Now they have told you this story. Will you just read the book? But it is practical hands-on. Later on, assign the computers. Let them have hands-on, they install, they download, they make a bootable. All topics are practical hands-on. That's why in the skill acquisition, there is part of knowledge. For me to use a projector, I must know what a projector is. So every skill, part of it, there is knowledge and understanding. There is also that skill. You get it? So
When it comes to that kind of installing, shall we name computers working computers?
I don't think
Space now.
that one is the school. For us, remember learning outcome is for a learner, not learners. A learner should be able to install. Woman, buli mwana gusomesa must install. When GJI wali randomly, they must take up the installation process. Let's see where you cut. So you cannot handle that in just one lesson, or the time you have on the timetable. Meaning, when they are free, maybe weekend, some. But again, this is what you must learn. Are you seeing the skills? Confirm that these skills you have them. That's why you don't know what timber, whether student, teachers, or what. Now, then you will never get problems.
Suppose that make use of some of these videos.
It is very okay. As long as the person in the video can help them or can facilitate the learning of those things. Like assembling, if they watch a video, let me see assembling here. Assembling, Alisa assembling. This is the MP4. If you ask them to watch, Bob and Nini, as they listen and they look and there's a projector. So they watch. Are you seeing some words on the screen? So they watch a step. You can pause a bit. Someone clarify. Mpola mpola. But as they also make a noise. Kubanga assembly is step by step. Step by step. Ajavamu ebigambo ebijja ku screen. Now that is the assembly. First remove. Then you put it backward. After watching that, I believe I've just announced the scale. Second, so videos can help, but not just afterwards. I mean, watching it once. So they must watch them regularly. You put them here. You can download them from YouTube, Nezifuka offline. So they watch. Or you can give them an activity, watch a video on deassembling and assembling, and then after you perform the following activities. Provide step-by-step procedure of deassembling the computer. 2. Assembling of the computer. Nga bo basoose kwerabira video. So you get it. So it can work. But there are some where the learner has to do it practically, like the installation. So that is the first presentation out of that.